last video, it was about 40 minutes long. I explained it had to be my biggest crash out of my life. The amount of emotions I felt throughout the experience was terrible. But if you listened, the first thing I did was take accountability. Everything that happened, whether you believe in karma or not, karma did happen objectively. Not to mention, under my own free will, I did choose the decisions that resulted in me getting hurt, thereby causing me to crash out. By the time I'm recording this video, it has been a few days since I recorded the previous one. So I apologize if you guys left comments on the original video and I'm not addressing it in this video or giving my take on it. This is just what I've been going through and sharing as I'm healing and I'm putting myself together, right? It's the 13th of April as I'm recording this. Past few days, I've cried a lot, like a lot. And I've been leaving the house though. I'm not like locking myself up here and like I'm still working. I did speak to several friends about this and they asked me this question several times after I explained the whole situation, right? Actually, first, one of my best friends, he sent me this text message and I'm going to read it word for word right now. And it made me burst in tears. And I keep thinking about it because it leads to the question that my friends were asking, right? So my friend says to me in this text, he says, Andre, it's going to hurt for a while. Try not to hurt yourself physically or emotionally as much as you can. And also, don't judge yourself if you do. Healing will take some time. Just remember, nothing anyone ever does or says to you is about you. In the 4 agreements, it teaches us not to take things personal. For now, how to create good energy is good books, good music, and good people. Now, if you know the Aku anime lore, you can tell this person knows my past. He mentions the self-harming issues I've had for many years, and he warns me, even if I relapse on that, don't judge yourself for it. And he mentions something in the 4 agreements, which is a book I mentioned in an older video. I'll repeat it. He says, nothing anyone ever does or says to you is about you. This is not a way to think that you're perfect or whatever someone causes pain to you is just like, I'm the victim. No. What this means is it's a deep truth about life. People, every single one of us, we act from our own pain, perceptions, and desires. When someone lashes out on you, betrays you, or even praises you, it's filtered through their lens. It's not something to measure your own worth by. This doesn't make the excuse of someone harming you, right? This doesn't excuse it. Like, it's supposed to liberate you from taking things personal. Someone else's chaos isn't your reflection. It's theirs. As above, so below, so within, so without. The universe is a mirror. What we see outside of us is born within. What other people reflect to us is rarely about us. It's about our own perception. And our reaction to that, that's our free will. Think about everything that is stirring within you. If you unlayer it piece by piece, you begin to realize everything points towards your inner self. So when I mentioned in the last video that I feel like this situation is karma, I already unfolded the layers. I'm not taking it personally anymore in terms of her. And there's a lesson here with that, and it may sound hypocritical that I'm saying as above, so below, so within, so without. And then I'm talking about like nothing anyone ever does to you is your fault. But we have to keep in mind that sometimes our own reflection ends up being pointed back at us, which comes back to the karma situation. Like Samantha, this is somebody who told me I was perfect, told me and planned with me to get engaged, live with me and everything. We were set, grounded, promises were made. This is somebody who also said this person who she cheated on me with, he doesn't do anything better than me. And it revealed a lot to me. This situation, it wasn't about someone finding someone better than me. It was about chaos, impulse, distraction, guilt, and even self-sabotage. Some people run from love when they don't believe they deserve it. Some chase chaos because they sit with their own stillness. Some people cheat, not because they're missing something in you, but because something with them is fractured. Nothing anyone ever does or says about you is about you. or says to you is about you. I didn't lose to someone better. I got hurt by somebody who was broken. And I recognize that. And it's one of the reasons I keep crying so much about the situation and how I reacted. But don't get it twisted. I feel like everyone is sort of wrong in this situation to an extent. But what makes this so impactful to me is that I understand that feeling where I feel like I don't deserve love. Last year, y'all know how much I was dealing with. So to the point where I was in and out of a psychiatric hospital, I feel like I didn't deserve anything. This whole situation taught me something. And I appreciate my friend who sent me that text. This is the same friend I mentioned in an older video who visited me when I was in the psych ward. Through my own personal experience and with what happened, I learned that real love, romantic or not, real love, all it does is it puts up a mirror in front of someone. It shines a mirror on them, forcing them to confront their own wounds. When you treat someone with care, consistency, and depth, it can trigger parts of them that feel unworthy or scared of being seen. It creates conflict. Subconsciously, you ask yourself, how can someone love me like this? What if I mess up? What if I don't deserve it? What if I lose them somehow? And as a result, this self-esteem, it makes you self-destruct or do things that sabotage a relationship, hurt another person, and so forth. So as I recognize this, I did talk to other people about this, like I said, and about my whole situation, right? And a few of them asked me something like this. They said something like this. Well, Andre, with this self-reflection that you're experiencing, I have a question. Can you forgive them? And I've been dwelling on that question for days now. Can I forgive somebody for the pain that they caused me? After that 40-minute video, after everything you heard what happened, can I forgive them? And I think I have an answer. A little bit long-winded, but I think I have one. Let me make something clear first, okay? This is commonly a misconception. Forgiveness does not mean saying, whatever you did, it was okay. That's not what forgiveness means. Forgiveness means to stop carrying someone else's wounds. Forgiveness does not mean just forgetting either. Remember what my friend said, nothing anyone ever does or says is about you. With everything I said about how I got hurt by someone who is broken, should I forgive? Well, maybe the answer is simply when I'm ready to. The wound someone leaves on you obviously will bleed and create a scar. When you love somebody, a friend, or even romantically, it's real, right? Real love, romantic or not, real love will always leave scars, even when they come back, even when it works out after the damage they caused you or the damage you caused them. Because when love is real, it changes you, it opens you, it exposes you. Like what I mentioned about the mirror, it builds memories, new cautious measures. And this is not weakness to experience that. It's part of growth. It's the consequence and the price of loving other people very deeply. Because if you love people very deeply, again, romantically or not, the wounds they create will also be very deep. Even if the love survives, the two people involved, you and somebody else, whoever's watching, you're probably thinking of somebody, right? That you may love as a friend or not, right? Me and Samantha, or any two people on this planet that you may know. You two, or us two, or any two, we will never be the same as we were before the scars that were left on us. And that's all okay. Sometimes these scars, it's a symbol of something that we overcame, alone or together. Other times, it's a reminder of what you endured by yourself. When my friend warned me about self-harming again, I haven't even thought too much about doing something like that. It did cross my mind a little bit. I'm not going to pretend that I'm completely clean here. It did cross my mind because, even but I haven't thought about it as much because, listen, my scars, every time somebody really hurt me or I was going through it, listen, I have a lot of trauma, bro. You guys listen to my story times. I've had a lot of positives in my life, but a lot of things have really, people have done a lot of terrible things. And, I've unfortunately had to suffer through it. Many tragedies. But, it passed eventually, right? And I look at these scars and I remember I did it. I made it past everything so far, at least. If we're talking about love, scars are part of love too. Not always because of betrayal, but because love is the risk. And the risk is sometimes you get hurt really badly. And I'm going to end this video on this note because I remember reading about this and it didn't make any sense to me when I first read it, right? Remember many years ago, I used to talk about Kabbalah on this channel. If you don't know what that is, Kabbalah is like Jewish mysticism, right? Before Judaism existed, there was a school of thought that, like a philosophical school that existed based on the understanding of the hidden aspects of existence, right? It's a very deep and esoteric system. Many people don't understand it. Even scholars don't understand it who spend years studying this stuff. And if you look it up online, Kabbalah, you'll only find surface level information about it. And if you do find deeper stuff, it's not going to make any sense. The deeper truths behind it, only certain mystery schools and people know about it. It's almost like a lost study, right? And in Kabbalah, I remember reading something that didn't make much sense to me. And this explains why things are considered esoteric, which means by definition, it's knowledge that you're not supposed to understand until you're wise enough. That's what esoteric means by definition, technically. So Kabbalah says, in the beginning of existence, there was only God, an infinite, boundless source of divinity and light, God. And God, fully aware of his infinite completeness, desired to make space for something other than himself to exist. Not out of need or loneliness, but out of pure impulse to give. Listen, if you were God watching this video, right? Let's say you were in the beginning of the universe and you were God, right? If you believe God is whatever, just take the story for what it is, right? It's not here to take it literally. But if you were God, right? And you recognized you had infinite power and you were boundless, what else are you going to do? You're going to test or build stuff based off of your powers, based off of your infinity, right? You're going to create eventually. You're not just going to sit there. So that's what I mean by God decided to create out of impulse, right? So God, the first thing he did when creating, he made a vessel. This is his first creation, a vessel, an extension of himself, a prototype of divine manifestation. It's like God is making a child of himself. This extension of himself or child of himself, because nobody can equal God, this extension of God, it lacked the self-awareness and receptiveness of God. So in Kabbalah, they point out that not only is God infinite, but so is his love. But because this extension he created could not return the same amount of love God was giving him, because nobody could be equal to God, this created a problem. Because listen, true love requires a partner. It requires somebody who can receive it and return it freely, not just passively soak it in. See where I'm going with this? And because this child of God could not do the same back, and God's love was so overwhelming, it broke and shattered into billions of pieces. And this shattering, Kabbalah claims, that's how the universe was born. What science calls the Big Bang, a divine explosion, right? So when I first read the story about how the universe was created in Kabbalah, I was like, this is kind of silly. Like, so you're saying the universe was created because somebody couldn't accept love, or something couldn't accept love from God? Like, That's a little bit weird. That's kind of seems a little bit weird to like a lot of religions as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though this is not a religion, but you know, it's kind of, it's a little bit weird. So he couldn't take it, and he couldn't take love, so he exploded, huh? But now I understand the esoteric symbolism. The metaphor of this story and the lesson that it's trying to teach in Kabbalah is that love can be very powerful, so overwhelming that it breaks the person receiving it. Not because they're unworthy, but because they don't know how to hold it. That's what this story is really about. It's not just some mystical explosion, it's a reflection of us, of human beings. We are all born into a world that is scattered and corrupt. Like somebody broke it before we even got here. And they did. But that's not by mistake. We're not just here to survive love. We're here to grow into the kind of people who can hold it, reflect it, and give it back without fear. To become strong enough to carry something bigger than ourselves. And gentle enough to not break it in the process. We spend our whole lives, and tell me if I'm lying, we spend our whole lives gathering pieces, not of just ourselves, but of the world. Every act of kindness, every moment of courage, every time we choose to heal instead of harm, it's a step towards restoring what was once whole and pure. We get too caught up in our wounds. We get too caught up trying to survive. We forget compassion, kindness, and most importantly, love. And maybe that's the point of all of this. Hey, everything will be okay. You break, you shatter, you fall, you search, and you heal. Such is life. Love you guys. I'm out.